Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning everyone.
Good morning, Miss.
How are you today?
I'm fine.
Sudah sarapan?
Yes.
Sudah ya. Okay. So let's open today's meeting by saying basmalah together. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, nice to see you again today in interpreting class, and this is the fifth meeting, yeah. In this fifth meeting, we will discuss about the modes of interpreting. But before we move to this topic, I would like to review some materials that we have discussed last week. Do you still remember, guys, the material that we have discussed last week? Come on, Mas Dimas, probably. Do you still remember, Mas Dimas?
We have discussed about the difference between translation and interpreting.
Okay, we have discussed some differences, yeah, between translation and interpreting. Okay, so what do you know about these differences? Probably Mbak Salsa.
So the translation is the written, and the interpreting is the oral form of translation itself. And then the translation is the right time, and the interpreting is real time.
Okay, that's very good, yeah. So actually, when we discuss about interpreting, we cannot separate the topic from translation, because actually interpreting is one of the branches in translation studies, ya. So if we want to learn about interpreting, kita harus tahu dulu tentang translation, ya, that's good, ya. Jadi kalau kita mau belajar interpreting itu langsung, nggak pakai belajar translation, do you think it is possible? No, ya, itu nggak bisa belajar interpreting tanpa belajar translation. Okay, so I hope that you have understood, ya, kalian sudah memahami that actually the basic differences is that translation is the written form, then interpreting is the oral form. Jadi translation itu penerjemahan tertulis, ya. Kalau interpreting itu adalah penerjemahan bahasa Indonesia lisan. Okay, good. Well, we will move to the next topic today. We will talk about the modes of translation. Yeah, before we talk about what modes of translation, modes of interpreting is, I would like to explain about the objectives of our learning today, ya. Tujuan pembelajaran kita hari ini adalah first, students understand the modes of interpreting. Jadi mahasiswa memahami apa itu modes of interpreting, and then student understand the problems and solution in conducting various modes of interpreting. Mahasiswa memahami berbagai masalah, problems, solution. What is solution? Problem, solusi. Ada masalah harus ada solusi. Kalau nggak ada solusinya, kita terjebak dalam masalah terus nanti, ya. Nah, makanya we will discuss about the problems and solution ketika kita melakukan berbagai model penerjemahan lisan. Oke, ini adalah objectives of our learning today. Okay, today we will discuss about modes of interpreting. Is there any idea? Ada apa ya, pendapat gak? Kita ngomongin mode dulu. What is mode?
Mode is cara, Miss.
Oke, good. Mode is cara. Ya, ini memang bahasa Indonesianya mode itu adalah cara, ya. Jadi benar sih, mode itu cara. Modes of interpreting, ya. Jadi cara, modesnya itu cara. Nah, kalau gitu modes of interpreting, kita kan harus bawa kata modes ini ke dalam konteks interpreting, ya. I will not explain directly to you bahwa modes of interpreting adalah bla 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 bla, but I will show you a video here about modes of interpreting. All you have to do is to watch the video and find as many information as possible about what modes of interpreting is. Okay? Yes. Understand? Okay, let's play the video. Okay, after you watch the video, is there any idea, any opinion from you guys about what modes of interpreting is? Oke, Mbak Risma. Oke.
It is how we conduct interpreting.
How we conduct interpreting. Bagaimana kita melaksanakan interpreting, penerjemahan lisan. Okay, good. That's a good answer. Mbak Salsa, do you have any ideas?
The procedure of conducting the interpreting.
Okay, so the keyword is the procedure. Well, actually, I do not agree with Salsa. Actually, modes is not procedure, ya, Salsa, ya. But however, there will be some procedures when conducting interpreting. Yes, that's right, and it is also discussed in the video. But we will focus on the modes first, ya. Cara bagaimana interpreting itu dilaksanakan. Kalau tadi dilihat di video itu ada how many modes of interpreting that you find. There are, I'll give you a hint, ya. Saya kasih saya kasih hintnya. Dua ya, teman-teman ya. Ada dua cara. Nah, ini probably this is something new information for you ya. Probably because interpreting is not popular for students because many students always thought that translation is only about written translation. There are two types of modes in interpreting. So we have consecutive interpreting and simultaneous interpreting. Okay, when you watch these pictures, can you find the difference yang terlihat aja dari pictures-nya ini tentang the two modes of interpreting? Ada yang kelihatan nggak? Ini nih, kalau di consecutive interpreting, so this is the speaker, the president of China, yeah, and the other speaker is the president of America, and we have an interpreter here. Yeah, this is consecutive. Do you find any tools? Ada tools yang dipakai interpreter nggak di sini? Tools. Apa toolsnya? Iya, dia membawa notes, ya. Tapi kalau di sini, ya simultaneous interpreting, ya. Ini adalah interpreternya, ya. Di depannya apa? Di depan sono no, di jauh. Participants-nya kan, participants, the speakers itu ternyata banyak atau sedikit? Ternyata lebih banyak. Maka salah satu differences yang bisa kita dapatkan di sini adalah consecutive interpreting itu dipakai untuk pertemuan yang skalanya kecil atau besar? Kecil. It is used for small meeting. But when you have a lot of participants, you have a lot of speakers, then it will be tiring if you use consecutive. So you will use simultaneous interpreting, and it will requires, ya, many tools, technological tools. Di sini pakai teknologi tuh, laptop, microphone, ini namanya panel. Ya, panel itu yang bisa nanti pencet-pencet volumenya seberapa kenceng kayak begitu, ya. Terus dia harus duduk di tempat yang terpisah. Kaca kan ini ya? Bisa. Jadi the interpreter sit in a booth, di dalam booth namanya kotak. Ya, kalau ini enggak, nih langsung jajaran sama speakernya. Bisa dipahami? Yes. Nah, the basic difference saya malah belum jelasin ya. Jadi the basic difference is that when it is conducted consecutively, kalau dilaksanakan secara consecutive, ya, itu ternyata speakernya ngomong, nanti akan langsung diterjemahkan oleh berhenti dulu berapa kalimat misalnya, atau berapa kata, nggak sampai beberapa kalimat. Ya, beberapa kata nanti berhenti, kemudian diterjemahkan oleh interpreter. Nanti dia lanjut ngomong, diterjemahkan. Begitu nanti dijawab, diterjemahkan. Jawab lagi, berhenti sebentar, diterjemahkan lagi, begitu. Tapi kalau di dalam simultaneous interpreting, speakernya akan ngomong terus dan interpreternya akan menerjemahkan terus, tidak berhenti sampai selesai. Okay. So, is there any question? Ada yang mau ditanyakan before we move? Yes, Mas Dimas?
Konsekutif aja sudah susah, Miss. Apalagi penerjemahan lisan simultan.
Iya. Jadi consecutive interpreting itu susah, Miss. Apalagi penerjemahan lisan yang simultan. Kita tarik lagi ya, Mas Dimas ya. Penerjemahan tulis aja sudah challenging, apalagi penerjemahan lisan. Okay, well, actually all I can explain to you is that when we learn about interpreting, the competences itu higher than the competences required in translation. Jadi kompetensi yang dibutuhkan di dalam interpreting itu sudah levelnya lebih tinggi gitu loh dibanding kompetensi yang dibutuhkan di dalam translation. Setuju nggak? Now think about this. When you become an interpreter, listeningmu harus bagus nggak?
Iya.
Bayangin ya, kalau kamu nerjemahin tulis kan nggak butuh listening tuh. Kalau nggak tahu artinya kamu ngapain? What did you do? You open dictionary, you open Google, ChatGPT, Google Translate. I need to edit ya. I need to edit the result from ChatGPT, and that's all. But if we talk about interpreting, aduh nggak dengar. Sita pernah merasakan hal seperti itu? Do you have any experience when conducting
Yes,
interpreting?
when I have experience when talking with my boss in Jakarta, he is from Hong Kong, and I couldn't remember what he's talking about, and then what should I do and what?
How?
Saya bingung kayak apa harus ngapain ya gitu.
And what did you do that day?
Biasanya sih yang kayak can you repeat it again sir gitu.
Now think about this. Imagine this when you need to talk, to say, to ask the speaker to repeat the words again and again. Kamu ulangi. Aku please repeat. Malu nggak?
Malu.
Dan kira-kira tuh klienmu curiga nggak?
Iya.
Yang saya sampaikan bener nggak ya, diterjemahin nggak ya? Jangan-jangan ngawur ya kan? Padahal boleh tidak. Logikanya kita belum bahas sampai sana ya, tapi logically kalau kita tidak mendengar dengan baik misalnya, terus kita tidak mau clarifying ya namanya, kita meminta klien untuk mengulangi perkataannya, namanya clarifying. Kita tidak clarifying, terus yang kita terjemahkan itu ngawur, itu boleh nggak? Bayangkan itu terjadi di court. Nah, ada tersangka pengedar narkoba, nggak bisa bahasa Inggris, nggak bisa bahasa Indonesia, tapi diadilinya di pengadilan di Bali karena dia menyelundupkan narkoba di Bali, dia bule. Aku penerjemahnya, Sita datang dikit-dikit jadi penerjemah. Nah kemudian Sita nggak bisa nerjemah, aduh ngomong apa nih? Akhirnya itu pengedar narkoba divonis bebas gara-gara Sita. Runyam kan? Nah, oke. Nah itu the risks are bigger in interpreting. I know that probably some of you think about what it will be difficult tadi, seperti yang dibilang Mas Dimas, angel kalau gitu, susah ini kalau begitu. What to do gitu, terus gimana gitu ya? Oke, sekarang gini aja. I want you to imagine as if you are an interpreter. Nah, sekarang saya ingin kalian membayangkan bahwa kalian adalah seorang interpreter. Bisa di-scan? Ya. Think about what are the possible problems when you become an interpreter. Kira-kira masalah apa aja sih yang muncul ketika you become an interpreter? Anything yang muncul di otak kalian apa? Kira-kira aku jadi interpreter, aku apa ya masalahnya gitu. And how will you solve the problems, the solution, ya. Gimana caranya kamu mengatasi masalah tersebut? Ya, bebas. Pakai you may use bahasa Indonesia, you may use English, ya. Ya, you may use bahasa Indonesia, you may use English. Ya. Silahkan diketik di linknya tersebut. Mau lebih dari 1 kali posting boleh. Kan itu hanya bisa 200 characters ya di Mentimeters. Kalau punya jawaban yang lebih, saya mau posting 10 kali miss, ya silahkan ya. Okay, I will give you time for about I forgot about this. Let's make it into group ya, berkelompok saja ya. Mas Iqbal with Mbak Nurul, Mbak Syita, Mbak Risma, Mbak Salsa, and then Mas Ivan with Mas Dimas ya. Silahkan berdiskusi. We'll discuss about what you have discussed in group, yeah, small group discussion. So my question is, mention possible problems while conducting interpreting and how will you solve the problems? Okay, I would like to ask for this group probably
Okay.
Mbak Shita.
Okay, in our opinion that we have discussed before, interpreting is more difficult than being translation. So when someone agree to be an interpreter, so she must or they must be prepared and ready for everything well, so that there will be no error or mistake while they conducting the interpreting.
Okay, it means that preparation is important or not?
Yes. Very important.
Okay, it's very important. Is it possible if you come without any preparation? Aku mau jadi interpreter di konferensi kesehatan jantung. Nah, terus kamu datang dikit-dikit nggak belajar sama sekali tentang kesehatan jantung. Is it possible?
No.
Okay. Any other opinion? Gimana kalau kita tidak mendengar? I cannot hear the what the speaker say clearly. Baiknya diapain? Mas Ivan? Any idea?
Mungkin kalau kita ketika ada masalah listening, ketika mendengarkan,
Dengan cara dicatat.
ya
Apa?
Dengan cara mencatatnya.
Oh, dicatat. Oh,
Yeah.
good ya. There is one strategy ya, not taking strategy. Nah, ini sudah one step forward pemikirannya Mas Dimas ya. Nanti kita akan belajar not taking strategy di 10 meeting or noon meeting gitu, di pertemuan ke-9 atau ke-10. Dan memang it is important especially in consecutive interpreting. Kalau di simultaneous nggak mungkin kita sempat nyatet. Karena speakernya kan ngomong terus. Tapi kalau di consecutive interpreting, we have time to take notes. Oke ya. Nanti teman-teman bisa baca penelitian saya ya. Jadi saya melakukan penelitian mengenai ini ya, exploring difficulties faced by EFL students in practicing interpreting. Ini sudah dipublish tahun ini. Nah, in this article I discuss a lot of problems faced by students while conducting interpreting. We will also discuss about this material next 2 weeks. Ya, tapi nanti boleh dibaca dulu di rumah karena nyambung ya materinya. Ini berdasarkan pengalaman mahasiswa. Oke. Oke, so time is up I think ya. Kita sudah kehabisan waktu. Jadi, what can we conclude of what have we learned today? Any idea apa yang sudah kita pelajari hari ini? Yes, Mbak Nurul.
We have learned about modes of interpreting, include simultaneous and consecutive interpreting.
Okay, we have learned about modes of interpreting, including consecutive and simultaneous. Okay. Before we close this session, I would like to give you a task ya, ada tugas. Bahagia kan kalau dikasih tugas ya, mantap ya. Tugasnya adalah silakan dicatat atau diingat-ingat ya. Mencari informasi. Jadi modes of interpreting ternyata bukan hanya 2 tapi ada 4. Nah, yang belum kita bahas. Whispered interpreting dan satu lagi sight interpreting. Sight SIGHT, sight pandangan. Sight interpreting and whispered. Whispered itu apa? Berbisik. Whispered interpreting and sight interpreting. Find as many information as possible about those 2 modes of interpreting. We will discuss it next week. Okay, let's close this session by saying Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Okay, see you next week. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay.